What's up, self-healers? Lisa Lightfeather here. Welcome to my channel, Closing the Gap. We make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. I'm still traveling. I fly out tonight. I'm not going to say what time, but I fly out later on. Yeah. But I thought I'd pop on and make a video in regards to the narcissistic and the empath dynamic. And this topic is in regards to why the narcissist hates the empath, why they find the empath, or why they will call the empath weak and pathetic for showing love, compassion, kindness, and forgiveness. So the empath naturally shows love and kindness, right? And eventually the empath shows forgiveness, and they show understanding that, they can see the other person's side of the story. And so the empath will say, well, yeah, I may have done that wrong. And yeah, I see how you would think that, blah, blah, blah. Well, the narcissist hates that because the narcissist lacks emotional intelligence. And so they find the empath nauseating. They're obsessed with them. They can't leave them alone. But they also find them nauseating and weak. In their minds, they see the empath as being someone who doesn't have a backbone, who's spineless, who's pathetic. Because they don't have the capacity, they don't have the emotional intelligence, and they don't have the capacity to feel compassion, forgiveness, kindness, or understanding. And so when the empath easily does this, it makes the narcissist angry, and it makes them hate the empath. Now, they don't hate the empath enough to stay away from the empath, right? So what they do is they watch the empath when the empath shows these types of human emotions, and they learn to mimic it, and they put it in their tool bag for later. But they cannot stand the fact that the empath has the capacity to be compassionate or to see the other side of the story, to see the other person's, the way the other person may feel or think, and be compassionate towards that. And when the empath is compassionate towards the narcissist, they hate them for it. They hate that. They get all kinds of bothered when the empath is able to say, okay, I see. Like, say, for example, it might be a narcissist in your family, and the narcissist may bark off a boundary, right? And the empath may say, I agree with you. You have a right to set boundaries, and I think that's a good decision. Yeah, I honor and I respect your boundaries. The narcissist hates that because they don't understand how someone could choose respect and boundaries over power and control. They simply don't get it because they don't have the capacity to have respect and boundaries. They have the capacity to mimic respect and boundaries. Now, if the empath was truly weak and pathetic, the narcissist wouldn't seek them. Now, when someone really is in a position where they're weak and they are pathetic, saying maybe they're really, really sick, or they're in a weak position, like maybe they just gave birth, or they're in labor, or maybe they just got out of a domestic violence relationship, something traumatic has happened to a person, a narcissist will go into scavenger mode, and they'll feed on that person's energy when that person absolutely has no energy to give. But they love the empathic energy. They love to hate it. They love to hate it. And so they will secretly despise the empath. If the empath cries, they hate him for it. If the empath shows compassion, they hate him for it. If the empath shows empathy towards the narcissist, they really hate you for it. Because the empath's authenticity, their authenticity alone shines a light on the emptiness of the narcissist. From here up, they're very conniving, manipulating, deceptive. They lack emotional intelligence. From here down, they are empty. And the empath shines a light on that emptiness. And it reminds the narcissist that they are not whole, that they don't have the capacity to love, to be kind, to be gentle, to be forgiving. They don't have the capacity to see the other side of the story. They only see the story that they've made up in their head, because most of the stories that they've made up, most of the stories that they tell about the empath are half-truths. They completely rewrite a story. And they will twist it around their heads to make the empath the perpetrator. I see it all the time. It's happened to me several times. They only tell half-truths of the story. And you know they remember. Because when they're saying something, when it's just you and them, they're saying something, they remember verbatim what occurred. But when the story gets told to someone else, it gets told a different way. So the narcissist lives on exploitation, exploiting people. They live on that. And so if the narcissist brings a story to the empath about something, let's just say something that happened at work or something that happened with someone else, and the narcissist tries to explain how bad the other person did them. Let's just say the previous supply, how bad she was and how bad he was and things of that sort. And then the empath might say, well, I would have felt some type of way too, you know. They hate that because they want you to join in on exploiting the ex or exploiting the boss or the other person that the narcissist is coming after. And so when the empath doesn't join in on the exploitation of themselves or someone else, they shine a light on the narcissist emptiness. Now the empath becomes a liability. And the narcissist hates them for that. They hate them for that. The quicker one gets away from the narcissistic empath dynamic, the better. The empath will often find themselves alone. But until the empath learns how to stand alone, they will see the narcissist in their boss, their mother, their children, their sisters, their aunties, their boyfriends, their husbands. It'll keep coming and keep coming and keep coming until the empath learns the lesson. And the empath will find themselves standing alone. But it's just necessary on this journey. It's necessary on this journey. So your kindness and your love and your compassion and your forgiveness and your ability to set boundaries does not make the narcissist respect you. In fact, it does the exact opposite. It makes the narcissist despise you. But keep healing, empaths. Keep showing compassion. And keep setting boundaries. Boundaries is the key to the empath's healing. Learning how to stand alone is the key to the empath's healing. Decentering relationships is the key to the empath's healing. And it sounds like a very lonely life, but let me tell you something. It is much better than being in the hands of a narcissist, being putty in the hands of a narcissist. Once you get to the point where you don't need people, a narcissist can't touch you. And that's where you got to get. You got to get to the point where you don't need people. Whether that's family, friends, and all that. And I'm not saying I want you to be alone and you can't be with nobody and so forth and so on. To be quite frank, I don't know what comes next. I just know I've given it my best shot. With family, friends, boyfriends, husbands. I've given it my best shot. And although my journey is not your journey, when I listen to other empaths, their story sounds very, very similar to mine. Just like the narcissist story sounds very, very similar. A lot of empaths are feeling the same trauma because the narcissistic playbook does not change. That's why you have a lot of them coming out now. They're trying to change the playbook with this self-aware narcissist. I'm a self-aware narcissist. I'm here to help you. The reason they're doing that is because the empath is waking up. And they're afraid they're going to lose that empathic energy. So they're coming at it from a different angle. I'm going to give you all the secrets to the playbooks. Well, surprise, surprise. There's a lot of us out here who already know the playbook because we lived it. But yeah, keep sharing for the people who don't get it yet. But that's the narcissist's new tactic, the self-aware narcissist. And I'm going to make a video on that one. Well, that's all I have for you this evening here on Closing the Gap, where we make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. If you like my energy, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe drop a comment. If you're really feeling my vibe, don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you know the next time that I upload. You guys have a good evening. We'll chat with you later. Bye-bye.